Hi there, I'm Dr. Brad Holt. I'm inviting you to the third in our series of videos about Christian spirituality based on the book Thirsty for God. This video will be about loving yourself. Loving yourself traditionally has been unpopular among Christians because it has been assumed to mean being egocentric. In our day, the psychologists and others have pointed out the importance of loving oneself for healthy mental function. Jesus in his commandment says, "Love your neighbor as yourself," meaning that the same kind of love that you offer to your neighbor is the same kind of love that you should offer to yourself. This means not that you are self-centered, but that you have kindness and compassion toward yourself, just as you would toward another person. So one way in which we cannot love ourselves is to become so selfish and self-preoccupied that we forget about the loves for our neighbor, for God, and for the created universe. But another way, which many of us fail to love ourselves, is to be constantly criticizing ourselves. Other people may not see it, but inwardly we are judging and condemning and maybe even despising ourselves. How do we get out of this habit? By welcoming the love of God into our hearts, by realizing that we are loved lavishly, delightedly by the God of all creation. When we receive that love, not merely study it, but receive that love in our experience, then we will be allowed to let go of that egocentricity, which is not loving oneself. Let's look at the New Testament for a description of love, and here we'll see how it applies to love of yourself. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. This is the kind of love we are offered in the love of God through Jesus Christ. The person in Christian history who has most written about this love is Bernard of Clairvaux, who wrote so many sermons on the Song of Solomon without realizing their erotic importance, but rather thinking about the very nature of love itself. He says there are 4 levels of love, the first of which is to love yourself for yourself, which we would call selfishness. But the 4th degree of love is to love oneself for the sake of God. In other words, to value oneself in the light of one's place in all of creation. What a wonderful possibility. The spiritual practice I want to suggest to you today is to go to your bathroom mirror, look at that person in the mirror, look at them in the eye, and say, "I love you." How does that feel? What sorts of emotional resonances does it raise in your mind at the time and afterwards? Try it out. See you next time.